But now I'm curious about the bigger picture.
Okay, the bigger picture.
What does the future hold for purchase order financing?
Hmm.
Any exciting trends or innovations on the horizon?
You bet.
Okay.
The world of finance is constantly evolving,
It is always changing.
and purchase order financing is no exception.
Okay.
One of the biggest trends
Yeah.
is the impact of technology.
Technology. Yeah.
It seems like it's disrupting every industry these days.
You're right.
Yeah.
And it's bringing a lot of positive changes to purchase order financing.
Okay, positive changes.
We're seeing the rise of fintech platforms
Fintech platforms.
that are streamlining the whole process,
Streamlining.
making it faster, more efficient, and more accessible.
So no more piles of paperwork.
No more paperwork.
Or weeks of waiting for approval.
Exactly.
Okay.
Many of these platforms
Yeah.
allow you to apply online in minutes,
Okay, online in minutes.
and you can often get a decision within 24 hours.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is.
Speed is everything in business these days.
You got it.
And it's not just about speed.
No,
It's also about reaching more businesses,
it is.
right? These platforms are making purchase order financing available
Yeah,
to businesses that traditional lenders might have overlooked.
exactly.
Okay, so it's democratizing access to capital,
It is.
which is great.
And we're also seeing the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning. AI and machine learning.
Being used to improve risk assessment.
Okay, so instead of just human judgment,
Yeah,
lenders are using algorithms to analyze data
they are.
and make more informed decisions about my creditworthiness.
Exactly. This not only speeds up the process,
Okay.
but it can also lead to more accurate and objective assessment.
And maybe even uncover opportunities that humans might miss.
You got it.
Okay.
AI and machine learning
Yeah.
can see patterns and connections in data that humans might overlook.
Okay, so fintech platforms, AI, machine learning,
Yeah.
all very exciting.
Very exciting.
Anything else on the horizon?
Blockchain technology
It's starting to
is starting to make waves.
Okay, blockchain, that's the tech behind cryptocurrencies, right?
Exactly.
Oh, wait.
But blockchain
Yeah,
has applications far beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum.
okay.
It's basically a secure and transparent way
Secure and transparent.
to track transactions and verify information.
Okay, so how does that apply to purchase order financing?
Well, by using blockchain technology,
Yeah.
lenders can potentially reduce fraud,
Reduce fraud.
streamline the whole process,
Streamline. Okay,
Yeah.
ultimately lower costs
lower costs. That's always good.
for businesses seeking financing.
So it's all about increasing security, transparency, and efficiency.
You got it.
And that's good news for everyone.
good news for everyone.
And let's not forget about mobile technology,
Right.
right? I
Yeah.
can manage my financing from anywhere.
You can with mobile apps.
Yeah. Track orders, submit documents,
Mm-hmm.
even receive funds directly to your phone.
So convenient
Exactly.
as technology keeps evolving.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll see even more innovations in purchase order financing.
I'm sure we will.
It's an exciting time to be a business owner.
It is.
But even with all these advancements,
Okay.
purchase order financing isn't the only option out there,
You're absolutely right.
right? There are other financing methods
There are.
that might be a better fit.
Yeah.
So what are some alternatives?
One popular alternative
Okay.
is invoice factoring.
Invoice factoring. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
We did.
Okay, so remind us how that works.
With invoice factoring,
Yeah.
you're essentially selling your outstanding invoices
Okay, selling my invoices.
to a factoring company
To a company, okay,
at a discount.
at a discount.
They advance you a portion of the invoice value up front,
Okay, upfront cash.
and then they collect the full payment from your customer.
So it's a way to get cash now
Exactly.
that's tied up in invoices.
Yeah.
Without having to wait for my customers to pay.
You got it.
Okay. And like purchase order financing.
Uh-huh.
It's based on my customer's creditworthiness.
It is.
Okay.
Not my own.
So it's a good option.
Yeah.
If you have reliable customers with a solid payment history.
Reliable customers are key.
But it's important to be aware of the fees.
Oh, yeah, the fees.
Factoring companies
Yeah.
typically charge a percentage of the invoice value.
Okay, a percentage.
So you're essentially giving up a portion of your profits. Okay, so there's a trade-off.
There is.
And it can also complicate those customer relationships,
It can.
since the factoring company takes over collecting payments.
They do.
Okay, so invoice factoring is one option.
What
What
else?
else is out there?
A business line of credit
The line of credit.
can be a great alternative,
Okay.
especially if you need ongoing access to funds
Ongoing access.
for various purposes.
So it's like having a financial safety net.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a revolving line of credit.
Revolving.
So you can borrow money
Borrow.
repay it,
Repay.
and then borrow again as needed.
Okay, borrow and repay as needed.
Yeah.
So unlike purchase order financing,
Uh-huh.
which is tied to specific order,
Right.
a line of credit gives me more flexibility.
You're right.
Okay, I like that.
You can use it for various purposes,
Like what?
covering operating expenses,
Okay, operating expenses.
purchasing inventory,
Inventory.
managing unexpected cash flow gaps.
Okay, so it's there when I need it. Now, I imagine lines of credit are typically offered by banks.
Yes, most banks and credit unions
Okay, banks and credit unions.
offer lines of credit to businesses
Okay.
that meet their criteria.
Criteria like what?
Things like
Yeah.
having a decent credit history
Okay, decent credit.
and a track record of profitability.
So they want to see that I'm a good risk.
They do.
Okay. So invoice factoring
Yeah.
and lines of credit
Mm-hmm.
are two solid alternatives
They are.
to purchase order financing.
What else?
What else should our listener consider?
Short-term business loans.
Short-term loans. Okay.
Can be a good option
Okay.
for certain situations.
And those are the loans
Yeah.
that you typically repay
Right.
within a year or less, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
They can provide a quick injection of cash
Okay, quick cash.
to help you manage a specific expense
Okay.
or jump on a time-sensitive opportunity.
All right, so how do they compare to purchase order financing?
They can be a bit more flexible.
More flexible.
In terms of how you use the funds,
Okay.
you're not limited to just fulfilling a specific order.
Right. I could use it for other things.
You could use a short-term loan to cover payroll,
Payroll.
make rent payments,
Right.
or even invest in marketing.
Okay, so more flexibility,
Exactly.
but they probably have higher interest rates.
They often come with higher interest rates
Okay.
than traditional bank loans,
Right.
and they usually require strong credit and collateral.
Okay, so there's a trade-off between flexibility and cost.
Exactly.
What other alternatives are we missing?
Crowdfunding
Ah,
has
crowdfunding.
become a popular option
Yeah, I've heard of that.
for businesses of all sizes.
And that's where you raise money
Yes,
from a lot of people.
a large number of people.
Typically online.
Typically online.
Okay, and good. There are platforms for that, right?
The platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo
Okay.
have made it easier than ever
Okay.
to connect with potential investors
Okay.
and get funding for your projects.
So how does crowdfunding work
Yeah.
for fulfilling a purchase order?
You could launch a crowdfunding campaign to pre-sell your product
Okay, pre-sell.
and raise the capital you need to produce and deliver those goods.
So I'm gauging demand,
You are.
validating my product idea,
Yes.
and securing funding all at the same time.
You got it.
Crowdfunding can be a great way to get my business off the ground
It can be.
or launch a new product
Yes.
without taking on debt
Right.
or giving up equity.
It's a very different approach
It is.
than traditional financing,
Okay.
but it can be incredibly effective
Effect.
for certain businesses and products.
Okay, so it's not for everyone.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it can be incredibly rewarding
Rewarding if it works.
if you're successful.
So each of these financing options
Yeah.
has its own pros and cons.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to finance.
Right. It's all about finding the right fit.
The key is to do your research.
Research.
Weigh the options carefully
Uh-huh.
and choose the method that best aligns with your business needs,
Okay. My business needs.
your financial situation,
My financial situation.
and your long-term goals.
Okay. Long-term goals.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything there is to know
Yeah, I think so too.
about purchase order financing.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Abby,
Any final words of wisdom for our listener?
purchase order financing can be a powerful tool to unlock growth,
It can be.
but it's crucial to approach it strategically.
Strategically.
Make sure you understand the costs,
Costs.
the risks, and the commitment involved.
Okay.
And never underestimate the power of strong relationships
Relation.
with your customers and suppliers.
Right. Those relationships are key.
They are the foundation of a successful business.
Absolutely. Build those relationships, nurture them, treat everyone with respect.
It will pay off in the long run.
Well, that's it for this deep dive on purchase order financing. I hope you found this episode informative and helpful.